I was 16 years old, living in the UK. My family's originally from Asia, so I grew up in a mix of British and Chinese culture. Nothing unusual about that, except in my school, it was apparently an open invitation for some people to target me. It started back in October of 2024. One day I got added to a random group chat on Snapchat. At first I thought it was just my school friends messing around. But no, there were girls in there I didn't even know. And within seconds, the hate started flying. Ooh, he's Chinese. Why'd you add this bitch? That was my welcome. Out of nowhere. Pure racism. At first, I tried to ignore it. Pretend it didn't matter. But you can only take so much. They kept piling on, day after day, until finally I fired back. I'm not proud of everything I said. It got ugly on both sides. But when you're pushed into a corner, you fight back with whatever you've got. They were younger than me, mostly year 9 and 10 girls. I was in year 11. And yeah, some of them were Muslim, so the insults turned personal, cultural, religious. They threw their words at me, I threw mine back. I wasn't going to just sit there and let them walk all over me. Eventually, they kicked me out of the group. But the drama didn't stop, because we all went to the same school. Every hallway, every lunch period, it was like their presence haunted me. Fast forward to April, just before Easter break, it's lunchtime, and I'm hanging out with 2 of my friends, minding my own business. Across the yard, I can see them, the same girl group. I'm already in a bad mood. A teacher had chewed me out earlier for no reason and actually called me a clown in front of everyone. So I'm sitting there, trying to shake it off. Then one of the girls calls over one of my friends. He walks toward them, and out of nowhere she jumps up and chases him with a bottle of water. He manages to run back to us, but the whole group follows, and suddenly all of them are splashing us with water. Now, water fights at school? Normally, harmless. But this wasn't fun. This was targeted. This was them saying, we can do whatever we want to you, and you won't fight back. I clenched my jaw. My blood was boiling. And that's when I noticed something. One of my friends who was doing engineering coursework had a tube of gray acrylic paint in his bag. He showed me his water bottle, and an idea started to form in my mind. I told him, pour some water into the paint tube. He hesitated, then did it. He handed it back to me. I held that tube in my hand like it was a secret weapon. The bell rang for period 5, but my mind wasn't on class anymore. I was focused. The leader of the group, the one who always had the loudest voice, the one who seemed to think she was untouchable, was walking alone. No backup this time. Me and my 2 friends surrounded her. She noticed the paint tube in my hand but didn't think anything of it. She just smirked. Then she tried again. Another splash of water at one of my friends, but she missed. And before she could laugh it off, my other friend drenched her from behind with his water bottle. She gasped, spun around, only to get hit with a football from my second friend. Chaos! And then it was my turn. Without hesitation, I ran up behind her, uncapped the tube, and splashed the gray paint all over her. Her hair, her clothes, her bag, even her shoes. It was everywhere. Thick, sticky, impossible to wash out. She screamed. Her friends stared in shock. And I ran. My heart was pounding, but for the first time in months, I felt alive. I felt free. Of course, they snitched straight to the teachers. Senior leadership got involved. We were pulled in, made to write statements. The girls even tried fake crying, tears on command, hoping to play the victims. But it didn't work. Everyone knew it was an act. One teacher even thought the paint was corrosive just because it wouldn't wash off. Like, seriously, acrylic paint isn't acid. The next day, another staff member called me in. He sat me down and gave me the whole guilt trip speech. The girl's mother called. She says her daughter doesn't feel safe coming to this school anymore. And? Is that my problem? When they were being mean to you, why didn't you come to us? Because I wasn't about to cry to adults that a group of younger girls were being jerks. You're gonna have to pay for damages. Yeah, sure, like I was ever going to do that. Spoiler, I didn't. They suspended me for a single day, and honestly, I couldn't have cared less. It was the last day before Easter break anyway. All they did was give me an extra holiday. My parents, my siblings, they didn't even care. Some of them were proud of me. But the teachers acted like I had committed some kind of war crime. When she was alone and you lot surrounded her, imagine how vulnerable she felt. Right. And where was that energy when I was the one being bullied? The paint could have gone in her eyes. That's why I splashed it from behind. She could have turned around quickly. Whatever. Here's the kicker. She couldn't get the paint out of her hair. She had to cut it. Her whole look changed, and she had to start wearing a coat at school. Even her shoes got ruined, so her parents bought her a new pair of Nikes. From that day on, silence. Her and her group left me alone, completely. For months, they'd made my life hell, and in one single moment, I flipped the script. Do I regret it? Not for a second. If anything, the only thing that still pisses me off is how blind the school staff were. They saw me as the villain for standing up for myself while ignoring the abuse I took for months. But here's the truth. Sometimes, if the system won't protect you, you gotta protect yourself. She got exactly what she gave out, only tenfold. And that's why, to this day, I still feel proud of what I did.